my channel. Today's video is going to be the first in a new summer series that I want to start, where, as you can see from the title, I kind of take one brand of makeup or one type of makeup and go through everything that I have and tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, what you should buy, what you shouldn't buy, what I recommend. That way you kind of have a better idea of the brand. I know that a lot of times, like, a brand may have like one product that everybody talks about, that's all anybody on YouTube talks about, but like they may have so many other products that are so good that nobody hears about. So I just kind of have a whole bunch of brands, specifically drugstore, that I have so much from, and some things are great and some things are horrible, and I want to tell you about them. So today's video is going to be NYX. This is kind of going to be a way for me to go through my makeup collection, like one of those makeup collection videos. I like seeing people's makeup collections, but they're either like hour-long videos where the person goes through every item of makeup that they have and whether or not they like them, or it's like a 15-minute video and you're just like speeding through it and you can't actually see anything that they have. So this is my way of doing a makeup collection, but kind of making it more interesting. I apologize if you can see my bra straps. I don't have a bra that goes with this shirt. So lately, NYX has been coming out with a whole lot of stuff. They've just stepped up their game. I swear, like, every week they're coming out with something new. So I have things that I've had forever and love forever and things that are fairly new, and I want to sit down and tell you about them. So this entire box is NYX. I'm wearing only NYX on my face except for mascara because I don't have a NYX mascara. And I'm gonna go through moderately quickly and tell you about the products that are in here. I'm just gonna pick randomly. So the first thing in here, and this is the biggest thing, this is something that it was so huge when it came out. This is the NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette. If you're not a professional makeup artist, I don't know that you need this because it's just a lot of extra stuff. I mean, like, there's 4 different kind of contour shades in here, and your average person doesn't need more than one. So this palette, overall, I don't think it's absolutely necessary. It is also one of their more expensive items. This is $20. So you have 2 kind of shimmery highlights on the outside, and to be honest, these kind of suck. One is light and one is like more of a golden color, and they're just not that shimmery. I do like their matte highlight shades. I really like their banana powder. And then contour shades, you've got kind of like this one over here is for bronzing more. This one is kind of somewhere in between, and then these 2 are more cool for sculpting. I did contour today with this one, and it's okay, but I just don't reach for it. It's not the most convenient. I'd rather reach for like a single contour, a single highlight. It's okay. The powder consistency is pretty nice. Some of them are better than others, but it's just okay. I use it sometimes. I don't use it most of the time. Next, this is what I used to set my face today. This is the NYX Matte Finish setting spray, I guess. To be honest, like, I can never really tell the difference between setting sprays. I can tell when I have set my makeup, but like, I can't for sure say that this has like a matte finish. But what I can say is that it sprays very well, very finely. I never feel like I'm getting droplets all over my face, and I can't say I've noticed anything bad happening with it, but I can't say I've noticed it being matte. We'll go through these 4 kind of powders. This first one is the NYX Illuminator. This is on my bad list. It's just okay, and it's just very, very icy and kind of glittery. Like, I mean, you can see how crazy that is. I just don't necessarily want to put like white on my face, and when you do swatch it out, it's fairly patchy. It's just not ideal. I have way more highlights that I've reached for, and I don't know if they have any other highlight shades, but that one was in the shade Ritualistic, so maybe they have more warm shades, and I would like those better, but the consistency just isn't better than any other highlighters that I have, even highlighters from the drugstore. So next I have the NYX Matte Bronzer. I have mine in the shade Medium. This probably won't work for me in the winter when I'm pale, but right now I've self-tanned and I'm naturally tanned from the sun. So this is actually a really, really, really good shade for me. It's super pigmented. It's great when you're already tan to add like enough color to your cheeks to actually look bronze. Like, my problem that I've been finding since I've been self-tanning is that a lot of my bronzers aren't kind of tan enough, but this one is. It's very, very pigmented. It does blend out, but just, I would make sure you tap off your brush and kind of be careful, because I did have to work kind of hard to blend it out on my forehead, and I had to move kind of quickly, but it looks, I think it looks really, really good. It adds a nice warmth and glow to your skin. It is completely matte, but for some reason it just, like, I feel like it made me glow. So I'm very happy with this one. This is the NYX HD Finishing Powder in the shade Banana. This is another one that I really, really like. It's just their banana powder. It's a yellow powder. It's kind of a pale yellow, so it doesn't look yellow on your skin, but it is kind of enough. It does brighten up under the eyes. It's really good for setting the under eye because it's a very, very, very fine powder. I really like this. And then the last kind of face powder that I have is the NYX Hydra Touch. I have the shade Beige. It's actually a moderately dark shade, but I love this. This is my favorite powder foundation I've ever tried. This is an amazing powder foundation because I tend to have a lot of trouble wearing powder foundation because I am really oily and I feel like it just disappears on my face, you know, like the oils just soak it up and it's gone. This one, I felt like I could wear this alone for an entire day. It's also really, really good as a setting powder. I use it today to set the NYX BB cream that I'm wearing, and I really, really love it. This shade is kind of perfect for me when I'm tan. It's a very, very smooth, very, very powdery though, so you can go overboard, just be careful, but like it has really good coverage. It's so pigmented. It's so beautiful. Oh my goodness, there's so many lip products in here. I feel like that's the thing that NYX does best is lip product. Next I have these NYX glitters. Honestly, I'm sure they're really great. I just don't really use glitters. It's like a lot of work for me to apply a glitter. Like you have to use a glitter glue, which I don't really have a good one. It just takes a lot of effort that I'm not necessarily willing to put in. But these are very shimmery. I have two shades. I have rose and silver. Obviously, they're rose and silver. Kind of hard to swatch glitter. They're super shiny, super pretty. If you're into glitter, I think you would really like these, but it just takes a little bit more work than I'm willing to put in. Like for me, if I want super shimmer on my lids, I'm going to use something like the L'Oreal Infallible shadows. Although I do want to use these someday. Next up, the NYX Tame Frame. This is their brow pomade. I have it in the shade Brunette. I just don't really use brow pomades. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I've had this for a really long time and it's not dried out. It's a really good shade. It doesn't look heavy, but it shows up. So I like it. I just don't reach for it. And I also don't have anything to compare it to. I've never used another brow pomade. I think it's fine. It shows up okay, but I just don't reach for it. Speaking of brows though, the NYX MicroBrow pencils are fucking phenomenal. If you don't have these and you're somebody on a budget, buy these. Don't even look at the Anastasia ones. These are all you need. I know some people say that they don't like them, but I don't get why. You put on the perfect amount of pigment. You can make them darker, you can make them lighter. They're such a very fine point. Like, look at this. You can draw hairs with that. I mean, it's super fine. They come with a really great spoolie on the other end. I would say the only downside to these is that the caps look very similar, but really one is smaller than the other. So if you put the wrong cap on the wrong side, you might kind of crush the tip, but these are very, very inexpensive. They're so good. It's what I wear on my eyebrows just about every single day. And I'm not an eyebrow buff, but I know enough that these are really good. So I have two shades. I kind of haven't decided which one I like better. I have chocolate and brunette, and honestly I don't know the difference. Let's see. This one is chocolate. This is the one I have in my brows today. The one on the left is chocolate and the one on the right is brunette. Chocolate's just a little bit warmer. So these are phenomenal. If there's anything you're gonna buy from NYX, these are one of them. These are one of my top recommendations. I've had a couple of the NYX single shadows. I have one of the ones that's like, and it's a square and it has like 4 little pyramids on it. I don't really love that one. It doesn't have that much pigment. But I also have some of these hot singles, and these I really like. They're not bad. I have the matte one in the shade Stiletto. It's just kind of like almost like a light mauve color. So it's really good if you want to make like a cool toned look. This is a really great transition shade I've found. These are pretty pigmented. Let's see if I can. It's fairly pigmented. That's my middle finger. I'm giving myself the finger. I don't love single shadows, but these are good for what they are. And then I also have a shimmery one in the shade Pixie, and it's just like really, really, really pretty. It's just a really pretty shimmery shade. It's like a icy, almost icy pink, I want to say. It's a little bit powdery and not like the best shadow ever, but when I just want to add like a hint of shimmer, this is really pretty, and it gets even prettier with water. But compared to the Prismatic shadows, that thing is nothing. This is more like a foiled shadow. I have the shade Girl Talk. This is also what I have on my eyelids today. It's so pigmented. You can see it here on my finger. It's just a really pretty like foiled pink shade. It's right there in the middle of my hand. If I was gonna buy something shimmery from NYX, like a single eyeshadow, I would just go with the Prismatic. Unless you don't want that much shimmer, in which case, by all means, go for the hot singles. They are really great. And then I have two eyeshadow palettes. This first one is just okay. I'm not obsessed with it. This is the Adorable Shadow Palette. This is just, I think they came out with like this palette in a bunch of different shades. This is like the more girly pink one. It has 6 shadows. The outer 4 are matte and then the middle 2 are shimmers, but like I'm just not gonna put that pink color on my lids. They're like okay pigmented, but I just don't reach for this. It just like wasn't impressing, you know, like it's okay, it's not great. It doesn't have colors that I'm really gonna reach for. I could make a look with this palette, but it's just okay. They have different eyeshadow palettes that I would recommend over this one. Like, I would recommend, if you're gonna get eyeshadows from NYX, I would recommend the Avant Pop palettes or the Go-To palettes. This is probably another one of my favorite all-time products from NYX. This is a palette that has 6 eyeshadows and then a highlight, blush, and contour bronzer shade. These eyeshadows are amazingly pigmented. They're a little bit powdery with a brush, but easy to knock off. But I mean, look at that pigmentation. They're so easy to blend out. This highlight is also incredible. I have it on my cheeks today. It's a little bit light for like my self-tanned skin, but gorgeous. This blush is amazing. It's like a peach with almost like a gold shimmer, and then it's like a very neutral bronzer contour color. The formula of these is so good. It's a really pretty shade selection. Like, you can totally make multiple different eye looks from here, but again, this is one of my top recommendations. Oh, I didn't even say mine's in the shade Wanderlust. There is another one, but it has like a green and a purple, and I just didn't think I would use those shades as much as I use the ones in here. So another top recommendation. We have the Dark Circle Concealer. I actually just got this very recently, and I had never used a dark circle corrector before, and I was blown away by the difference that this made. I didn't think that I needed it until after I put it on, and I was like, damn, should have been using this a long time ago. It's just like a little peach tinted pot concealer. It's a kind of like a thin formula, and it just kind of blends away. I don't even have any other concealer on today over this. It just kind of blends away to kind of brighten and cancel out that blueness, and it's really good. I just put this on, set it with banana powder, and went on with my day. I don't always use under eye concealer, so this is like a nice kind of in-between step where it's going to cancel out that darkness without adding like a lot of coverage, which I like that. I have 2 of their, what are these called? High definition blushes. I got the shade Taupe because everybody has recommended that this is really good for contouring, although I haven't used it yet. It's like very cool, like shadow colored, which kind of intimidates me, but I want to try this. And then I have the shade Soft Spoken, which I've heard a lot about, I think, unless it's like a shade of another blush. But this is like just like a nice peachy shade, but it almost has some shimmer in it. It's what I have on my cheeks today, and I feel like it just gives you like a lift, you know, like it just makes you look like bright and cheery and like pretty. Really easy to use, blends out nicely. It's not overly pigmented. Like, I feel like you can't put on too much of this because it's so light, but it adds like a very pretty glow to your cheeks and just a little bit of peachy. I like it. And then the last thing that's not lips is the NYX BB cream. If you've been on my channel or watched like any of my previous videos, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of BB creams because I like the idea of them, but I haven't found very many that don't just kind of grease up and look horrible. But this is fucking awesome. First of all, it's a warm shade, which I have found with lots of BB creams, they're so cool to the point that they're gray, which looks horrible on me. I have very like warm tendencies. This is their darkest shade, but on me it's like the perfect amount of golden glow. It's warm, and it's like the perfect amount of warmth. I actually wore this today, worked out with this on. I laid out in the sun for an hour and a half with this on, and I came back in and it still looked really good. Not set with anything. I didn't set it. Wasn't even looking greasy, and it was still on my face. I really like this a lot. like a whole lot. It made my skin look really, really good. It didn't cover too much, but it covered just enough, and it's warm, so I'm happy. I'm gonna show you one of the only ones that I don't like, and that is the Megashine gloss. I have it in the shade Frosted Beige. I don't know why I thought I was gonna like it, but I don't like it for 2 reasons. One, it smells like fucking cough syrup, like disgusting. It smells horrible. Like I can't, I'm not usually offended by smells, but this one I am. And it's just too frosted for me. I don't know. I think mostly the smell is what I can't handle, but it's right here. It's just like too much. It's a little too much for me, and that smell just makes it not worth it. So this is actually in my declutter pile. Another one that I actually don't like is the Whip Lip and Cheek Souffle. I used this on my cheeks today as a cream blush, and it wasn't horrible. It did kind of add a pretty color, so I'm gonna keep it as a cream blush, but on the lips, this is rank. Mine is in the shade Plush. And first of all, it's not really a color I would necessarily wear on my lips. So streaky, and like you can't blend it out to look nice. It feels weird. It's just a weird texture for the lips, but I do like it as a blush, and I will keep it and keep using it. Oh, I skipped two eye products. Another eye product, and this one I honestly haven't tried yet on my eyes. This is brand new. This is the NYX Vivid Brights Liner. I have the shade Vivid Violet. It's just like the NYC liquid liner. It has a brush tip. It's just not too pigmented. It's not bad. It's definitely like a blue toned purple. I guess the verdict is still out on this one, whether or not I like it. It dried matte. And then the other eye product that I have in here is the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil. I have mine in the shade Milk. This is their white eye pencil, and this is really, really good for putting down under other eyeshadows to kind of, you can either use it as like an all over eye base, but what it does is it makes any colors that you're putting on your lid really, really pop, because it's canceling out the color of your lid. It lasts a really long time. It feels good. It's easy to use. Another lip product that I'm just kind of like on is the Ombre Lip Duos. One of the things that I don't like about this is that I want one that's just nude, and they don't have one. The one that I thought was going to be that is this one in Ginger and Nutmeg, but this Nutmeg side is like way dark. And then this one is actually like super pale, and it's like really pink. In my mind, I wanted them to be closer in shade. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want it to be such a drastic difference between one color to the other. So I have Ginger and Nutmeg, and then I have Rags and Riches. It's just like too much work. They didn't have colors that I'm actually really gonna wear, so The butter lipsticks, I have 2 shades. I'm sure that these are really, really good. It's not overly pigmented, so I think this is a nice kind of sheer wash of colors. I have the shade Fizzies and Taffy, and it's kind of like a pink, this one's like a watermelon color, and this one's like a bright pink. That's Fizzies right there. But unfortunately, they're just not colors that I really wear. So although the formula is great, I need to get better colors for me. The NYX lip liner, I have the shade, I only have one in the shade Natural. I have it on my lips today. It goes on very softly. It's a little bit harder than like the ColourPop ones, but it still feels really, really nice. It is a pencil, so you do have to sharpen it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not amazing, but there's nothing wrong with it. What I'm wearing on my lips today is the Extreme Shine Lip Cream. I had never heard of these until Lustrelux talked about this one. This is the skin tone one. It's what I'm wearing on my lips today. It reminds me of like the intense butter glosses, but more pigmented and less glossy and more just shiny. Like, they're so similar. It doesn't smell like cake, but it feels really good on the lips. It's not sticky, but I think it's just a really, really pretty, natural, like kind of nudie brown lip color that's really good for the summer. I have 2 of the liquid suedes. These are my favorite, one of my favorite liquid lipstick formulas. They're not overly drying, especially if I kind of have a lip balm on before, wipe it off and put this on. I have the shades Sandstorm and Kitten Heels. If I were gonna wear a red color, this would be it, because it's like a blue toned red, and it looks really, really good. Like, it makes your lips or your teeth look really white. This one I love. It's a really perfect, like, again, brownie nude. I've gotten lots of compliments wearing this. Never had like crumbling or cracking or drying. So I really like these. I know not everybody does, but they are coming out with new shades. Similarly, the Lip Lingerie formula. I think it's almost exactly the same, just more nude. So like if you were missing the nude colors, they have them in the Lip Lingerie. I have two. I have the shade Push Up and I have the shade Ruffle Trim. Some of these, oh, that's not cute. Some of these are a little bit less pigmented than others. Ruffle Trim is way more pigmented than Push Up, but Push Up is manageable. Again, they feel really good on the lips. I've never had a problem with them. There's a nude color for every person. If you want to try liquid lipstick from the drugstore, I would try those. Okay, so moving on to the soft matte lip creams. These are somewhere between the liquid lipsticks and like a matte lipstick. They're not overly drying, they're not super long lasting, but they are matte. So I have the shade Zurich, which is kind of like a peachy color that I don't wear that often. I also have the shade London that's more brown. And then I have these two shades that I'm actually getting rid of because they just don't look good on me. Amsterdam and Istanbul. Like, they're a really, really great formula. They're very pigmented. They dry matte. They look good. I just don't wear those last two colors. So these two are going away, but I love the soft matte lip cream formula. Okay, my absolute favorite thing is the Intense Butter Glosses. They smell like fucking dessert. They are so unbelievably soft on the lips. They last a really long time. They're super pigmented, super glossy. There's nothing wrong that I can say about them. Obviously, my favorite is the same as everyone's favorite, and that's Tres Leches. This is like that nude pink mauve color everybody loves. It's the shiny one over here. But I also have the shade Spice Cake, which is like a berry color. That's the berry one there. Then I have two of their newer ones. One is the shade Chocolate Crepe, and this is like a brown, like a red brown color. And then the last one that I have is Peanut Brittle, and this is like a lighter brown color. That's this one over here. And these are just so beautiful. You can see just how glossy they are and pigmented they are. They last really well, and they're just really fucking beautiful. Then you have the regular butter glosses, which I don't like quite as much. But if you want something that's less pigmented and less kind of thick, these are really good. I have three. I have the shade Cherry Pie, which is like a bright neon red color. I have the color Eclair, which is like a kind of purple tone. And then the last one that I have is the shade Strawberry Parfait. I think this one is new as well. And this is just like a brighter pink. So good for summer if you like that bright pink color. And these are really pretty. There's nothing wrong with them. I just like the more pigmented, intense ones. But for like the summer when you maybe have like very little on your face and you just want like a gloss throughout the day, those are really good. And then the last two things that I have are two more lip products. This one is very new to me. I've only tried it one or two times. This is their Pump It Up Lip Plumper. I have the shade Elizabeth. What I really like about this is that it's not overly tingly. This is much less extreme feeling, but it's still a little bit tingly. I also just love the shade. It looks very naturally glossy on the lips. It's this one right here. It's like a My Lips But Better shade. It looks really natural. It feels really nice, and it does kind of pump my lips up. And then the very last thing, I've actually never tried any of the other shades of this. This is the NYX High Voltage lipstick in the shade, I have no fucking clue, Hollywood, and this is a blue red. These are extremely pigmented, but they are a little bit greasy, so I don't know how well a dark color like this is gonna wear, but a nude might wear better. But like you can see, it's just so pigmented, and I know that they have a lot of interesting colors in that range. That's every product that I own from NYX. I hope you guys kind of got an idea of the products that I love, the products that I so about, and the products that I dislike from NYX. Honestly, there's not that many dislikes. There's some products that like I didn't pick up because I hadn't heard anything good about, like the mascara. You never know what's going to work for you until you try it out for yourself. So I just want to put that disclaimer in here. I'm not bashing the products that I don't like. They may work for you great, and they just didn't work for me. But I just wanted to give you one person's idea. So I hope you guys liked this video. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below and let me know what your favorite NYX product is, especially if it's not something I mentioned. And I appreciate you taking your time out to watch. Don't forget to click the button down below to subscribe to my channel. It's a red button with a play. It says subscribe. Pretty obvious. Click the thumbs up button if you like this new series that I'm starting to do. And the next one is going to be Milani. I have so much from them. Don't forget to follow me on social media. It's at JCS1372 everywhere. And I'll talk to you guys next time.